welcome back. Thank you, people, for joining me. Love getting the views, all the internet stuff, the comments, the subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. You're online. You could be doing so much right now. Let's face it, that albino, furry, midget, clown, asphyxiation, human centipede porn is not going to watch itself. So thank you for choosing to be here with me today online. You can watch that porn later. It's not going anywhere. So today we're going to be doing Creed 2. And as you can see, I've classied the place up a little bit. Got the green screen. Don't know what to do with it yet. Figuring that out. Got lights. That was not one of the things I learned how to use in film school. So I'm kind of using YouTube tutorials to figure that out as well. So in addition to talking about Creed 2, what we're also going to be doing today, the internet, especially YouTube, and especially film critics, it's become a really toxic atmosphere. I get that negativity gets views. The nicer my reviews, the fewer views I get. That could be coincidence and not causality. But yeah, for the most part, there's just a lot of just shitting on everyone's hard work. And there's certain things that critics now say they have that are just so annoying, or the go-to complaints that they make for the sake of making a complaint. And I'm going to address my top 5 most annoying things that film critics say just to be a negative douche canoe. Boxing movies are pretty formulaic. People love them for a reason, though. Insert metaphor here. Whatever you're fighting for, whatever goals you have, the storyline of an underdog stepping into the ring against the bigger, scarier competition when everyone else around them says they're not going to be able to do it, they're not good enough, and going there and getting the crap beat out of them and getting back up and trying again. If you can't relate to that, your goals are not scary enough. And that's why these movies resonate with us. We love the Rocky movies. We love Cinderella Man. Insert whatever it is we're fighting for into that. Unfortunately, this particular series has had its ups and downs. The first Rocky movie was great. There is something else we might as well just go ahead and address. In a way, Rocky was kind of about white people taking sports back from black athletes, because at the time, almost every sport was being dominated by black athletes. I do say black, not African American. I feel it's presumptuous. If I call someone African American, it could be like I'm on vacation from France. I'm not an American. Or they might, yeah, they're an American, but their family's like 10 generations Haitian or Australian. It just feels presumptuous. I say black. I hope nobody gets offended. There's a lot of that in the Rocky series. I mean, yes, in the 4th one, he fights a Russian guy. It's after a montage of Rocky winning all these fights, and I think like every competitor except one was black. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think it was something that they put in that film meaning to have racist language to it. I do think it's something that maybe slipped into the subconscious and made its way in the film. And I don't know that, of course. I can't pretend to know what's in the mind of somebody's subconscious. I can't even tell you what's in my subconscious. That's just not how the subconscious works. Rocky Balboa is this underdog. He's broke. He's unrecognized. Everyone says he's too old, he's washed up, he needs to quit. And then this guy, Apollo Creed, who's the champion boxer, he decides that he's going to let some underdog fight him for the belt. Opportunity of a lifetime. And Balboa gets that opportunity. And of course, no one expects him to win. He doesn't win. Doesn't get knocked out either. He stays in there for the whole fight. He takes it over and over and over again. He gets knocked down. He gets back up. He's spitting blood. His eyes swollen. And it ends with him and Creed having this mutual respect. Like, yeah, no, you're a boxer. You're a fighter. You didn't win, but you're a fighter. And it ends with, I did it, Adrian. Unfortunately, some people felt that, no, we want to see him win. So they made a sequel where Rocky fights Creed again, and this time he wins. And it's probably the least talked about Rocky movie. And then the series kind of got cartoony. By Rocky 3, when we introduce Eye of the Tiger, or Ryan the Kaiser, if you like Weird Al Yankovic, and of course I do, by that point he's successful, he's this well-known boxer. I think that's the one where it's a joke. He also fights Hulk Hogan. He's now rich, he's well-known. Where do you go from there? Mr. T, from the A-Team, he ends up punching Rocky's trainer, manager, and knocks him out and kills him. And Rocky's like, oh, well, now it's revenge. And then Creed trains Rocky to fight Mr. T. And it's a very silly movie that has some interesting quotes. It's got all the ingredients of a Rocky movie, from the theme song, the montage of training, everyone telling him, "You can't do it, Rocky, you're too old." Mr. T does say some, of course he does say some very cool quotes in it. It's just kind of a fun, forgettable movie. Then he fights a Russian opponent. This guy murders Creed, Apollo Creed, in the ring. They fight, and Apollo dies. He gets hit in the head so many times he just dies right there. And then Rocky, the series, did something really weird, and I have mixed feelings about it. It broke the mold, and it decided the fifth Rocky movie was going to be about some bad investment decisions that Rocky makes, and he loses everything. He's broke. He's too old to fight anymore. Son and him, they're not getting along. He ends up training this other guy who's supposed to be the new champ. You would think, like, okay, so they're going to pass the baton to this new guy, but instead the new guy turns out to be an asshole. And then Rocky ends up just fighting him in the street, just like out of nowhere. My ring's in the street, which, no, it's not. You've always fought in a ring. He's never fought in the street. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. It sounded like a good line. It just doesn't make sense. So they go outside, and Rocky punches him a bunch of times and knocks him out. It's not a particularly great movie. I kind of respect it. It just went completely out of the mold and tried something different. Long period of time after that, we ended up with a new Rocky movie. I didn't see that one. I didn't hear much about it. Fast forward a few years ago, which I guess is technically rewinding, get a movie called Creed, about Apollo Creed's son getting trained by Rocky to go become a boxer. It's an interesting angle, but I was not expecting much here. And holy shit, it was great. I see the preview coming for today's subject, Creed 2. So Creed is going to fight the son of the Russian boxer who murdered his father in the ring. Okay. I mean, at the very least, it sounds interesting. But I was expecting this is where it's going to get off the rails and start being sort of an almost parody of itself, like Rocky's 3 and 4 were. And it was not. This was good. So we've got Creed, or Johnson, sometimes he's going by the name of Johnson, fighting off against Viktor Drago. And both of these guys make you feel like you are an out-of-shape piece of shit, completely undeserving of love. Yes, it is bad when a movie relies too heavily on pop cultural references. It's a bad thing when anything relies too heavily on something. That said, though, this movie relies too heavily on pop cultural references. I'm really sick of how dated this movie feels. Unless your movie takes place in an alternate version of Earth or another world, it's dated. It's a period piece. If it takes place in the present, there would be references authentic to that time. You're not going to watch the movie Ray with Jamie Foxx or Ray Charles and complain about, oh man, they keep mentioning these things that are going on then. It really dates the movie. A movie should be dated. You should have a sense of time and place. Like, people bitch about, oh, Wreck-It Ralph, all these pop cultural references and internet references that date the movie. Yes, the movie takes place in 2018 in the internet. Twitter is going to come up. Facebook is going to come up. It would be weird if these things didn't come up. The Emoji Movie is nothing but pop cultural references, so it's a fair complaint there. No sane person is going to watch Captain America and say, man, there's sure a lot of Nazis. I mean, we get it. It's 1940. I don't really dating the movie here. So as I said, this is a movie about Creed fighting Viktor Drago, the son of Ivan Drago, who killed his father in Rocky 4. Rocky doesn't want Creed's son to go fight Viktor, because in Rocky 4, Rocky kept the fight going between Apollo Creed and Ivan Drago, and that led to Creed's death. Of course he doesn't want to say, yeah, I want to send his son into the ring to fight that guy's son and have him die. No. Rocky out. His new wife, she's pregnant. Well, spoiler, she's pregnant. That changes things. Yeah, we have a kid to think about. Creed's mother doesn't want a repeat of this. They don't want to see him step into the ring with the son of the guy guy that killed his father. So we get that immediate drama. It is arguable that, yeah, maybe he is being selfish getting into that ring and risking his life when he's got a daughter at home and a wife. Maybe it's wrong for him to put his mother through that trauma. Maybe he's got the belt and he should just be happy and retire. Or not even fight him. He can just choose not to fight the guy. It's really pride that's pushing him to go fight this guy, at least in the beginning, which is the hero's journey that Creed's going to go on. He goes in for the wrong reasons. It doesn't work out. He goes through a very long sort of death where he's got to come back as a stronger, more put together person who's now fighting for the right reason. It's nice to see Sylvester Stallone being a good actor. He's one of those actors who's in so many silly movies that you kind of forget he can't act. Everyone is good in this. What's also really neat, you feel bad for the villain. Viktor Drago is a sympathetic villain. He's terrifying, he's scary, he's a little bit of an ass, a little bit, but you kind of get it when you get a look at what his life has been like. You feel pity for this guy. You almost want him to just I don't know, just give him the freaking belt. Let him have this. This is all he's got. This is all his life has led to, is getting the belt specifically from Apollo's son. You kind of even feel bad for Ivan when you realize what he went through. Again, he's an asshole, but you kind of get why he's an asshole. They could have made these very two-dimensional villains, and they did not do that. And they go through a very good character arc of their own. And some people, when it comes, will say, well, that was kind of sudden, what the catalyst that changes who they are and how they think. You know what? That would do it. And I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but it's like, yeah, that would be enough. This is really good all around. This is excellent writing, good characters, all put into a package that could have been completely phoned in. A very formulated boxing movie. It would have made money, no question about it. And it's really nice to see the filmmakers put a lot of extra effort and heart into this sort of thing. I do play the original Rocky theme. You ever watch Naruto? Okay, Naruto, the cartoon. I like the manga, the show after the Chunin exams. Okay, that kind of fell apart on me. But there's always that scene where Naruto turns things around, right? And they start playing that theme music. If you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. That's kind of how that one time they play the Rocky theme, and it works perfectly. I hate the complaint when film critics point out that a product exists. Yeah, there's product placement in movies. What do you want? You want everything to say just something generic like, oh, a box with the word cereal on it? First off, that would feel fake. And secondly, yeah, movies cost money, so they're going to put products in it. Yes, there could be gratuitous product placement, but for the most part, this has become something that film critics will just jump on because, again, they're looking for something to be a negative, nitpicking douchebag about. So-and-so drives a Benz. Oh, that's a product. Oh, look at that. The computer says Sony on it. That's a product. Yeah, there's products in movies because products exist in real life. It's one thing if a movie that takes place on another planet that's never had contact with Earth and then everyone's using Sony laptops that say Sony on it. Okay, that's a little weird. Oh, God, I tell you, I go way too much without sleep. Where'd my 5-hour energy go? Oh, there it is. Yes, it's a classy show I'm running. Okay, this one drives me up the wall. If it does follow the beats, people get mad at it for being formulaic. If it doesn't follow the beats, oh, that's not what we wanted. That doesn't belong there. I'll give you some examples. The Predator, which I did a review on, and I liked it. I liked The Predator. I liked that they did something different. It was a comedy about the Predator. And a lot of people didn't like it. And why did they like it? Well, that's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the Predator fighting some soldiers in the jungle, like the movie Predator? You mean a movie that already exists? But then, what do you think was the main complaint we got in the movie The Predators? Or Predators. Sorry, but Predators, The Predator. it turns into a bit of a tongue twister when you try to talk about all of them. But Predators, the main complaint was, it's basically just Predator. It's a lesser version of Predator. So if they remake Predator, you're not happy with that because it's the same thing. If they do something different, you're not happy because it's different. What do you people want? I think it's to complain. I think it's to complain. Rocky V, which granted, as I said, it wasn't a good movie, but the main complaint was it was not a formulaic Rocky movie. But what was the number one complaint about Rocky IV? Yeah, it's basically a Rocky movie. Same thing we've already seen. And, as much as I don't want to justify just remaking the same movies over and over again, I kind of get where the filmmakers are coming from. If you make Fast and the Furious 72 or whatever the hell we're on, and you made it just like the first 71, and they all made lots of money, even if your film bombed and the producers are looking at you like, you just cost us money, hey, the first 71 made money. It's safer for them. When you say, no, trust me, I want to try something completely different, and then it fails, that's on you. There's really not too many things to get too bent out of shape with this movie. A lot of it is the best version, I think, of what it's trying to be. There's this business where Creed's daughter is born and she has the same hearing problems that her mother had. It doesn't matter is the problem. It's completely inconsequential. You could maybe argue that works on some thematic level, but all the bases for that are covered. It's just not necessary. It's the exact same movie without the baby having a hearing problem. It doesn't go anywhere, and maybe it's supposed to come up in a future movie and it matters then, but I don't think there really would have been any problem with just waiting for that. It would be perfectly believable if it turned out that the baby had those problems as it got older, rather than they tested it right away. In his defense, it's a well-acted scene. The timing of it kind of hurts Creed's journey to becoming a new person. If it had happened very early on, before, spoiler alert, the first time Creed tries to fight Viktor, when Creed had a different mindset, a different set of values, him taking it more to heart that his daughter has an imperfection would have worked a little better. Not enough, I think, to justify keeping it, but better. Having it happen later, I felt kind of hurt that. Beyond that, there's so little to criticize here. The dialogue's good, the acting's good. Drago's logo, colors, and the font make me think of like a very Zen martial artist. I don't know why, it just does. How he looked and his mannerism, I kind of feel like gunmetal grays and blacks with like font that looks like it's carved out of steel would be more appropriate. Okay, so when I did a review for Infinity War, I talked about people complaining about plot holes, where the plot hole was just, we didn't show that to you. It happened off screen. How long do you want this movie to be? So I'm going to talk about another plot hole complaint that I'm sick of hearing, which is characters behaving like flawed human beings who make mistakes rather than doing the most perfect thing all the time. It's a plot hole because, why didn't this person just do this? It's so obvious. Because they're human beings and we're fuck-ups. It's one thing that is completely out of character for that person to be a fuck-up. Like that alien movie Prometheus, it's a little weird that these people who are supposed to be really smart are just stupid all the time. Whereas a Friday the 13th movie, it's not a plot hole that the scared teenager, she's panicked and terrified and she's going to make a stupid mistake. The acting's good, the dialogue's good, the story's good, everything is good here. The sound effects, the music. What I really appreciate is the little subtle things about the directing. There's so many scenes where there's the obvious way you would film this. And you can everyone just kind of taking that extra second to say how better to do this. And there's just little subtle things like when we see a reflection in a mirror, how a person opens their front door. Little things like that, they add up. And I always like feeling like that extra effort is there. Okay, so the final thing I am tired of seeing internet critics, movie critics on the internet do is put on this big show about how they don't want to review something because it's so horrible and they're being forced to do it. You see it all the time. Oh, my fans are making me review this. Oh, look at all these tweets and comments telling me I have to do this. I don't want to review this, but I have to because you're making me. I've even seen critics do this whole thing where they're on the floor crying and someone's filming them crying, going, I don't want to film it. I don't want to review this movie. Oh, this movie sucks so much. I don't want to. Dude, nobody's making you do jack shit. Knock it off. It's annoying as hell. Okay, promotion time. So as you probably noticed, I don't do like a Patreon account or anything like that. I'm not even actively looking for anyone to advertise on here, although at this point I think 5 Hour Energy needs to do the right thing. But I do this as a way to promote my own products. And if you go to darkwana.com in the comment section, you can see my novels and my games. Also, down there in the comment section, you'll see an AOL email account that I created just for this charity event. I am going to make a book, put it on Amazon, and all the proceeds are going to go to cancer research. But I need volunteers to do artwork for it. Every volunteer is only allowed to do one picture. I'm going to write a book based around these pictures, which are going to be based around the title. That is all I'm giving you, just a title. And the title is The Little Engine That Could, But Then Got High and Forgot to Do Anything About It. So we're going to make that book and cure cancer.